in making that kind of a pivot?
Sure. I mean, I think the biggest thing with the whole creativity, learning what that even looks like, say for example in our realm, so like agriculture, and it looks different for any industry. We did a lot of trips, a lot of research. And honestly, I think this is probably the funnest part, is because we took trips all around the country, see what people did really well, did really bad, learning from their mistakes, learning what they did really well. And when you take trips out of your competition area, people are really open to teach you about what they know and exactly what did not work, what worked, and all that. And it's interesting because, you know, in our world, and you pick orchards, all the different places, they do something way different. Some places do kids really well, some do maybe alcohol really well. I mean, you keep on going throughout that. And so we took those trips and learned kind of what we wanted to be. And I think honestly, like, that was the funnest part. I mean, we've spent weeks just traveling. It's taken some money for sure, but that's how I think we got our vision.
A few things, like every year we've always added something. Especially like last year we added a coffee shop, and we added, we started doing barbecue here. Now we figure we had all of these people coming here during the day, but the nearest place to eat was 15, 20 minutes away, and we were open smack dab in the middle of lunchtime. So we just saw we were kind of losing business in a sense of that people were coming here, but then they needed something to eat, so they had to leave. So what we wanted to do, we're like, you know what, let's try to do barbecue. And we found a mentor for that. So our dad knew somebody down from South Carolina, owns a few barbecue restaurants. And he's like, all right, we called him. He said, come on down, I'll teach you everything that I know. And so we went down there, we spent a couple days with him, and we didn't learn everything in those trips, because you have to kind of go through the motions of doing it yourself to where you really learn. But that was a huge part. And everything that we've done like that with the coffee shop, everything that we've done, we've found a mentor to help us figure out how to do it. But it has been, we've had some bumpy times getting things off the ground, just because then there's a difference between learning something and then doing it yourself. So it does take a little bit of time to kind of figure out what you're doing. So yeah, really the innovation part is really just kind of looking at our consumer and how can we make their experience better here when they visit. So, and then also with the alcohol, we do a lot of hard cider, and that is continually to grow every single year. It's just another thing of we looking at, you know, my brother and I, we're both married, both have young children. We are geared to serving the people that we essentially are, the young family. So we think, how can we have something for every single person that comes here, that everybody in the family would enjoy to go to the orchard? So we figured, you know, like, who doesn't want to drink hard cider, you know? So if we can, and we like it, so I look at it from my perspective as being a dad. So we have the kids play area, so the kids can have a great time, but how can dad have a good time? So we have live music every weekend, and then also having the hard cider and the different kinds of things with that. It's like, it gives what we feel like the dad something to do too, and for him to have the enjoyment, and also with the barbecue. So we look at it from a point of view of like, all right, our wives, what would they enjoy to do when they're here? Our kids, what would they enjoy to do when they're here? And dads, what would they enjoy? So we don't want to just gear toward one part of the family, but if we can gear toward every single part of the family.